All right, man. We're back. We're live. Back at it again.
Oh yeah. Give me a hell yeah, as they say.
Hell yeah. So,
So that was what was his name?
that was the weekend. Also, real quick, I can hear Yan pretty loud.
Ah, well,
Not sure how that.
maybe I can adjust my seat here. Let's see if
Yeah, if you're able to adjust your seat, it's up to you. I know Yan's
Well,
graciously allowing us to chat again.
close quarters here, so let me just
That's fair.
adjust.
No, that's fair.
Nice little like ambient background sound
Yeah,
though,
it's ambient noise, you know. It's oh man, but yeah. So let me. Oh, you're good.
Okay, just plug in the battery here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. How about now?
Bit better. I can still hear a little bit, but it's fine. It's all right.
All right. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Anywho's, so yes, the weekend is our 5-time winner of WrestleMania theme songs, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna put on a little bit of low ambient here with the some lo-fi in the background for us. But yeah, since I can't play the weekend's whole track of Gasoline, so but yeah, Gasoline is the track. He had 5 years straight with let's see, he's done, I think it was like Blinding Lights, Save Your Tears, Less Than Zero, Sacrifice, and yeah, Gasoline, which is pretty funny. So the man's got the hold on WrestleMania theme songs.
So, hey man, it's 2024.
That's right. So modern day. But yeah, so how you been, man? How's everything going?
Pretty nice. Yeah, we've had some hotter weather here in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Some record-breaking stuff, but it's due to cool down. We're gonna have some rainy weather by Easter, so enjoying that.
That'll be nice. That'd be super nice. Yeah, it's Texas right now. It's kind of weird. It's like, you know, we'll have like the mornings will be kind of cold at like 40 like mid 40s, and then it'll pick up to like the afternoon. It's like beautiful. It's like 70 and sunny. So it's weird. It's nice, but it's just weird.
That's a big jump.
It's like a 30-degree jump. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Texas, you know, typical. But yeah, it's been good, man.
Did you say Texas?
Yeehaw! Well, darn tootin', I sure did there, son.
Shoot. That was my Texas voice.
That's perfect.
You have to have a bit of a crack at it.
Yeah,
like...
you have to like actually hit puberty a couple times every time. You know, shoo! You know, it's like you're just hitting that brink of puberty. So we got a lot to talk about. We have WrestleMania 40 XL, extra large. This is an extra large WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right.
It's an extra large mania coming up next weekend, live from the Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my home state. Just about an 8-hour drive the other direction from Pittsburgh, my home city. So, yeah, it's gonna be big, man. What's your initial thoughts before we dive into it?
Oh, pretty positive. And I say that as an exception because, you know, I think we can both agree that in recent years, the product has had something left to be desired. But I don't know, in the past month, there's been some big changes in the world of wrestling. And maybe that's a contributing factor. Probably not a maybe, a definitely.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. I definitely we'll chat on that later, but I'll bring that up and we'll come back to that because your point of the changes and things that have been happening in the world of wrestling over the course of the last couple months has been kind of crazy. So yeah,
oh yeah,
it's
absolutely nuts.
It's been bananas. There's a lot going on in wrestling. Before we dive in, I'll touch on a few let's get the people updated with some news. You know what's going on in the world of wrestling. Yeah. So I'll bring up some news I was kind of looking at today. Obviously, ongoing, we still have the dark patch on wrestling with Vince and his weird shit and all that stuff. So that's unfortunately still ongoing. Not sure any recent updates on that other than there were, people getting called out. Of course, Stephanie was name dropped and other things. So that was big.
Oh, was she?
She was name dropped. Yeah, she was name dropped. And then like Vince tried to throw Nick Khan under the bus and all kinds of stuff. It's been insane.
Oh.
So not sure where they're at with this and what's going on. They've been pretty quiet the last month. Excuse me. So
Yes, they have been.
So we'll see where it gets going. Another thing I thought was very interesting that came out just the other day was WWE released the first look at their consensual relationship policy that was established in 2023. I didn't know about this, but it said WWE established a policy on sexual or romantic relationships in the workplace in June. The rules were adopted a year after the alleged sexual misconduct from Vince. So it's basically an employee shall not exercise responsibility for any affiliated individual with whom the employee has or had a consensual relationship. WWE strongly discourages consensual relationships involving any WWE board member or executive team member, such as the CEO, president, CFO, chief content officer, chief legal officer, or chief human resource officer. So I thought that was interesting. It just, after the whole Vince thing, they're putting this policy in effect, So it's interesting.
Yeah. Discourages, though.
Yeah.
There's no outright ban.
Right. It just discourages. Not like you are forbidden, bad. So.
And also the emphasis is on consensual.
Right.
With the Vince stuff, it sounds anything but.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just weird. That was just one of the news articles that broke the other day with WWE. So not a whole lot of news going on. I mean, in the world of just general and as a world of whole wrestling, New Japan's been pretty quiet. New Japan had Kazuchika Okada come over to AEW. We had what else is going on? AEW, they gained Okada, they gained Mercedes Moné, and they gained Will Ospreay. So I haven't seen a lot of their work, to be honest, other than, Mercedes, yes, but Okada, Ospreay, I haven't seen a lot of them. I know they get a lot of high praise. I know what their finishing move, the Rainmaker, all that stuff, and I know that Ospreay says bruv a lot. He just goes, hey bruv, what you doing, bruv?
Okay.
But I know he's had some amazing banger of matches over in London, like over in New Japan with Okada and other people, Kenny Omega, things like that. So, but I don't know a whole lot about his history. So
yeah, I've heard the name, but I can't tell you much.
All I know is that he aligned himself with the Young Bucks. They're like the new elite. They're like the new elite or something. So that's kind of like what's going on in AEW on that side of the fence. Mercedes, Sasha Banks, Mercedes, yeah. I mean, people might give me shit for it or get mad. I give a fuck, but I personally think she's kind of overrated. I mean, not gonna. I liked her in WWE as Sasha Banks. She had she was good. She had some banger matches here and there. But I never was like, oh my god, this woman's the best wrestler I've ever seen in the women's division in the world. That was never my inkling personally. Like, I thought she was good, but I was never, oh my god. Like, and from what I've heard, like the reports that come out, whether I don't know what's 100% the truth, the facts, whatever, but from like Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, whoever is reporting, but like her contract that they signed was like an insane number, like incredibly high for AEW. It was something ridiculous, like higher than Okada's, higher than whoever. She's like one of the highest paid people on AEW's roster.
Hence her name, Monet.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the A.
That's right. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. My only gripe with AEW, and I know we'll get into WrestleMania too, but I just wanted to kind of throw this out there because I know we've kind of touched on it, but it's just that a lot of stars that go there from WWE, like Edge, Mercedes, I'm trying to think. There's others. I wouldn't put Danielson and Moxley technically in this, but I would just say that these stars that go there, a lot of them that go from WWE to there, get lost in the shuffle and devalue themselves. They get put into feuds that don't make sense, and they do stuff that doesn't make sense to their character, and it doesn't add up, and it's just not good. And Mercedes, her theme song is utter shit in AEW. It sounds abysmal. It's so dumb. I hated it. it's like she goes by CEO. So
Okay.
they're piping in on the audio. It's on the screen. It'll go CEO, and they pipe in it like it's like audio goes CEO, CEO. So they're relying on the pipe-in audio for the crowd to then join in and go, well, CEO, like Heidenreich or some shit. I'm like, the fuck? Like, are we gonna Heidenreich this shit? So, it's. I prefer
Your tag partner.
I would prefer Heidenreich's theme song. Shit, I'd be singing that and marching to the ring with him. But
Oh, hell yeah! That was a great.
It's
That
a
was a
banger.
good tune.
It was a banger. But you a shit wrestler banger song. but with Mercedes, it's like you're getting this horrible theme song, and then she's cutting like not great promos already. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. So we'll see where she goes. I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but that's a little bit of AEW. So I don't know what your thoughts are, and I don't know if you've caught any of that. So
Well, Dylan, say what you will about Heidenreich's in-ring ability, but he was a masterful poet.
that's true. He was a good poet. Yeah, he cornered Michael Cole. He read him some poetry. Kind of close and personal, intimate.
That's called cinema.
Cinema.
Yes, it's high cinema.
I love that.
It's like art house stuff.
I was gonna say was so moving on from the AEW, New Japan and all that. Let's jump into it. Let's get into WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40. We got a stacked card ahead of us. It's big. I'm gonna bring it up. So for those watching, there are for WrestleMania. There's gonna be 7 matches every night. It's gonna be 7 matches on night 1, 7 matches for night 2. So the card is not fully laid out. I have only the information that WWE has put out there and what I know. So we're going to bring those matches up. We're going to talk about each match, kind of break it down, what we think. And we'll also put our predictions down for each match and how we think it'll go. And we'll kind of talk about the stories a little bit from what we know. And so let's get to it. I'm just going to bring them up by random. So these matches are all coming up on random. I don't know what the order is of the card. I don't know who's kicking off the show because for those who don't know, typically in wrestling, and especially at WrestleMania, a big thing is most superstars want to either kick off the show or they want to close the show as the main event. Those are the best spots to be. Either you're kicking the show off with a bang or you're ending it with a bang. A lot of stars don't want to be in the middle or get in the middle of the card.
Get lost in the card.
Exactly. They don't want to get lost in that shuffle. And then that means when they get put in that middle card kind of area, that means they have a lot to prove and they really want to, outdo the other performers that night. So with that said, let's kick it off. Let's start with a banger. All right, let's start with this one. We're gonna bring it up. Let me close out the logo here. The first match we got is the triple threat match for the United States champion. We have the Maverick Logan Paul taking on Kevin Owens versus the Viper, the Apex Predator, the man who hears voices in his head, Randy Orton. So, this matchup, the build, it started at Elimination Chamber, as far as I know, or as far as I can recall. I don't think this started at Royal Rumble. Oh, I'm sorry. It did start at Rumble because Kevin Owens and Logan Paul fought, and they had a banger match at the Royal Rumble. And then, kind of the seeds were planted there a bit. And then it was Elimination Chamber was where Kevin Owens and Orton were all in the same chamber together, and Logan was talking mad shit, talking shit on social media, talking shit in the chamber, which was hilarious. I mean, say what you want about the guy. I know you're not the biggest fan, but his heel work, oh my gosh, when he was in the chamber in Australia and he was like blowing pictures on the door and drawing little stick figures, that's Kevin Owens, this fat stick figure. He's like, that's KO, that's him. I was cracking up. It was so good. And so he kind of cost Randy Orton the chance at WrestleMania at Australia. So it's been Logan, man. He's been talking shit, building it up, getting under Randy Orton and Kevin Owens' skin. So what's your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, this is one I'd probably skip.
Okay, that's some big. Okay, I will say this. Before you continue. I'll just say I was much rather looking forward to this being simply Logan Paul versus Randy Orton. I didn't want to see a triple threat.
Yeah.
I feel like and I'll say this because I feel like Kevin Owens, like, I love him, but it's like, I feel like both him and Sammy this year don't really have true direction of a story. They had a great story last year at WrestleMania with the Usos and that tag match. It was incredible. I mean, it was such a the bloodline build to that was amazing. But this year, those two have been kind of lost in the shuffle. They're just kind of floating away into the wind. Yeah. So, but continue. Your thoughts, like, yeah, why skippable? I know you're not a huge Logan Paul like I am in the wrestling. I'm a bit of a mark for his bullshit.
I think you made a good point. It'd be better if it was a one-on-one. The triple threats can be okay, but I think everyone needs to be like top of their game.
Yeah.
You can't have like Undertaker versus Big Show and Albert. You know, like, who talks about that match?
Nathan Jones?
And Nathan Jones.
Yeah.
Right.
Forgot so he was in there.
Well, exactly. And I don't know. Again, I like Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Randy Orton,
yeah,
he's okay. I'm not a huge mark for Randy.
Yeah.
And Logan, you know, as a heel, fine. I'd want to see him get his ass beat.
Right.
But yeah, I just maybe I haven't been following the build-up
for sure
well enough or closely enough to be excited. But you know, Logan's just kind of like a petulant brat. And
that's true. You're not wrong.
You want to see a brat get spanked, so
we're gonna see some spanking.
Yeah, I'd much rather have it be a handicap. You change that to a handicap match, and I'll be the front row seat.
You know, it'd be kind of funny now that you say that. Imagine if it was a handicap match, and the title was still on the line, so it ends up just kind of falling into a triple threat. Like, they'd be, because it would be Kevin. If it was a handicap, they would have to be like a tag. So there would be a handicap tag match, like where Logan versus those two. And so it's like Orton's going for the pin. If he wins, he gets the belt. And then Kevin like pulls him off, like, what the fuck? I want the belt. You know, like, you know, what about me? It would be a shit show. But I think, I don't know if you saw this or heard about this, and I'm baffled that they're doing this. And if it's true, it's gonna look fucking ridiculous. Logan Paul announcing that his Prime energy drink is gonna be on the canvas from WrestleMania on here on out. So the big fucking Prime bottle is gonna be in the center of the ring. And so people were posting memes, like, because the people are like, he's disgracing the ring because it's always been sacred. And so people were posting like the picture of Undertaker on top of the Hell in the Cell looking down at Mick Foley with the Prime bottle. I was like, oh no, so sad.
That's perfect.
I was like,
I agree, it's trashy.
It is trashy. I was like, dude, leave the ring alone. Like, could you not put the sponsors on the ring apron? Like, they have them on the ring apron, and they also have them like on the electronic barricade. You know, like they'll do like the fucking cinnamon toast crunch shit on the electronic barricade.
That was horrible. That was so garish and gaudy and just god awful. I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like,
hey, I was there live. I got to witness we were at Hollywood. We got to fucking see
firsthand cinnamon toast crunch, and it just takes you out of it. I don't know. There's a purpose for all of the set design and everything. You know?
Yeah.
There's a reason why, you know, and I look back fondly on like these old sets like SmackDown or Raw's War. You know, everything had its place.
Yeah.
And then you just stick an ugly logo onto the whole design. It ruins it.
Excuse me. Yeah, you know, it's. I agree with you, man. Like, I thought it was when he announced that. That was at the SmackDown when we were in Dallas. And when he announced it, I was like, you're fucking kidding me. But, you know, I mean, money talks. And, branding and sponsorships and business. So, yeah, it's kind of wild to me. We'll see what it looks like at Mania. I can hardly wait to see. It's going to be so stupid. But
maybe if there's a bit of color in some of the matches.
Yeah.
It seems like they've removed that anti-blading rule out of the books, and Vince has been nixed.
Yes, yes,
So
and we will get to that. So yeah, you are right. The blade rule is finally seems to be lifted, but we'll get to that one. I did want to ask though, what is your? Let me bring out. I'm gonna transition here. Let's transition. What is your prediction for this matchup here? What is your prediction? Who are you going with to take the? Is Logan retaining or is someone taking the title home?
I'm gonna just play it safe and say Logan retains.
Okay, I'm gonna put Logan. I'm gonna put you as Logan. Oh, let me restructure this because we're just not cooperating as well as I would hope it would. So, hold on. There we go. Let me just put it here. Sam. I'm gonna put Logan. I will. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna join you on that. I'm gonna say Logan retains. I'm gonna say he's gonna have a successful defense at WrestleMania. I think it's possible. I think it's gonna happen. So, but yeah. So that is our match to kick off WrestleMania is what I'm gonna say. So let's transition to the next one here. Let's go talk about the 6-pack ladder match we got going on. We have the 6-pack ladder. We got 6 teams going at it. We have the team of DIY of Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the champions of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor. We have the New Day of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. And then we have the Awesome Truth of R-Truth and The Miz, with 2 mystery teams still up for grabs. Now, I swear I think that there's... I don't know if they've updated the graphic, but I thought for sure that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller had qualified, but I'm not quite sure if that was confirmed. So if that's confirmed, then there would be 1 team remaining that's a mystery. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this one? I think this is an interesting match, but I want to hear, before I kind of spew my rant here, I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, we have a history of great ladder matches in the WWF, and of course we always talk about TLC 2.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sets the bar, right? Like, par excellence, it's hard to get over that, you know. And so I'm more interested in seeing who the mystery guys are going to be.
Right.
And quite possibly it could be some of these guys that were in TLC 2.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say...
So,
yeah, no, continue.
So you got kind of these younger guys with maybe some veterans, and it'll be an interesting matchup if that's the case. Or some of these guys like Kofi, they've been around forever too. But some of the real old school guys that were, you know, in ECW, or if it comes down to the Dudleys being involved, which could possibly be a factor.
Yeah, man, imagine. I mean, it's in Philadelphia. It's in the home of where ECW is, so, you know.
There you go. Bubba's still in pretty good shape, right?
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. I don't know how Devon is, but Bubba's in great shape. So Bubba's in pretty solid. I see him on his podcast, and he's been in a couple shows like in the independent circuit, and I think Impact. He was in, like TNA. He was in, so, and he's still doing his thing. He got to be. He was
Spike.
Yeah. Oh my! If Spike Dudley appeared, I would lose my shit. I think he's like a financial advisor or something now.
Oh,
I don't think he's in shape to take a bump, but I was gonna say, to me, when I saw this match, I was like, Jesus, this is gonna be chaotic. Like, if it's six teams, competing against each other for titles, like, it's gonna be fucking chaotic. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Like, I feel like this could be a big crash and burn kind of deal where a lot of people are getting hurt, or it's going to be very... My worry is it's either going to be... It'll be crash and burny, and it'll be chaotic, and it's going to be crazy spots everywhere, or it's going to be very kind of rehearsed and, like, very played out, where it's like, this team will do this to this team, and then this team's going to do that to this team, and then this team will take, it'll be very kind of formulaic, where it's not like the TLC matches where it was just, those were just so crazy at WrestleMania, TLC 1 and 2, and
Sure.
They didn't
But
feel...
it was also formulaic. They definitely rehearsed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be to have some like happy medium ground between that would
Right.
be
Yeah.
what you want in a match
Exactly.
like that.
That's what I'm looking for. It's like, yeah, just looking for the happy medium. So, but yeah. So, I think I don't know who the mystery team is. I think again, Matt Hardy, he showed up at Raw randomly. So he was he was in the crowd in a box seat. Matt Hardy just showed up. And for those watching, Matt Hardy is a former WWE WWF superstar with his brother Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, and he works for AEW now, the rivalry company with his brother, and they're under contract. So it was very odd to see him appear in like taking pictures, with people and all that stuff, and at a WWE Raw event. So speculation is that he might appear in this match, but I couldn't foresee Tony Khan allowing that, but who knows? I don't know what the deals are. So if the Hardy Boys were to show up at this ladder match, that would be amazing. I think it'd be fun to see. I don't know if it'll have the same effect as their return in WrestleMania 33. When they came back, that was the Orlando. That was incredible, but
Big pop.
yeah, monster pop. But yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be probably a spot fest like crazy. It's gonna be all kinds of bullshit on the ladders. So, what do you think? I'll make my prediction. I'll say my prediction. I'm gonna go with. Let me pull up the prediction screen here. My prediction will be, I'm going to take The Miz and R-Truth. I'm going to say the Awesome Truth. Because I think they're riding a pretty good hot streak right now. I think they're pretty hot. So I think, I'm going to go with them for this one. What do you think?
I was going to say R-Truth as well. He's super over at the moment.
Yes.
Very entertaining. Whatever he does, they'll tune in, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And then give me a special appearance by Road Dogg, and then we'll call it an excellent match.
I'll put that under you. Special Road Dogg. So I know. Special Road. Yeah, we get K Quick and Road Dogg reappearing together.
We on that orange rap and blue.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, we'll move on from the ladder match. So from the ladder match, let's move on to another interesting one. Let's go on to the Intercontinental Championship. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of Gunther, my boy Gunther, versus. I thought
you were gonna say your boy Honky Tonk.
Oh yeah, I'm a honky tonk man, just a honky tonk man. I'm cool, I'm cocky, I'm bad. Hey, I saw Honky Tonk. He was in Waco, Texas. So random. Don't understand what he was doing there. He was by himself. I was like, I wanted to go sing a song to him, but he probably would have looked at me like I'm some fucking crazy Mark.
No, yes.
He probably like, the fuck is wrong with you? No, yeah, the Gunther, man. I can't remember. It's like 600 plus days now he's had that belt. He's definitely, I feel like he's made the Intercontinental belt very prestigious, but he is he's taken on Sami Zayn. So very shocking, to be honest. There was a big, I think, 6-man match that they held on Raw where most people wanted Chad Gable to, be the one to fight Gunther at Mania in a rematch because they had a banger on Raw. And Sami beat Gable. He beat Gable in the end. I mean, it was crazy. And the funny thing was, when this happened, people were mad. People were mad at Sami. And I'm like, you're getting people to turn on
mad at Sami.
Yeah, people are giving Sami Zayn. I'm like, people are giving him shit. And he legitimately came out and said he was kind of sad. He's like, I can't believe people are so mad about this.
Exactly. Come on. How can you do that to Sami?
So my thing is this. I mean, this match build, it's been interesting because it's like Sami won. He barely beat Gable. He kind of rolled him up, and he got a quick pin. Gable kind of confronted him backstage on Raw a week ago, and he's like, you can't beat Gunther. You can't do it. Kind of like telling him, like, you're not going to beat him. You can't do it. And it was kind of like, wow. And like Gunther, and they had the face off. And so it's like, I don't know if they're doing some Rocky type bullshit with this, or I don't know what it is, like, or if they're gonna insert Gable into this matchup like next week before Mania as a last minute thing. I personally, I love Sammy, but I would have liked to have seen Gable and Gunther at Mania. I think Gable deserves, from what he's done, and even though he's been in the Alpha Academy, his like singles stuff has been great. Like I feel like he is kind of like a mini Kurt Angle. His in-ring is incredible. He's like, I just feel like if there's a time to push a new star to get him out of that group, the whole shush gimmick and shit, get him into his own stride, I think this is a time to kind of do that, is to push him into, I mean, you don't necessarily push him out of the Alpha Academy, but at least push him as a single and get him on in a good path. And I feel like this could have been an opportunity for him against Gunther, and maybe even dethrone Gunther at Mania. Because I mean, at this point, I mean, Gunther, yeah, he doesn't really, to me, he doesn't have much left to prove anymore. He's beaten pretty much everybody for that belt. I mean, some people are speculating he would be a double champion like at one point, which would be crazy. I mean, he's an incredible talent. I love him. Like I love his entrance. I love his style in ring, like his mic skills. He's gotten so good. Like to me, he's just an all-around well-rounded talent for WWE. And and Sammy's he's great. I mean, Sammy's got that great underdog baby face type gimmick. Yeah. Like everyone loves him for that. Like he's just got that great, you can't hate the guy. You gotta love him. He's a fucking ultimate, like, just good babyface character.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be, I'm sure it'll be a good match. I mean, it'll probably be a banger. But I don't know how, I don't know. What's your thoughts before I tell my prediction here?
I've only seen a bit of Gable's stuff. I think I first learned of him. Did he have a match? He was this 2 WrestleManias ago? He was like involved with something with Vince McMahon and
Gable?
Stone. Was it? No, maybe I'm getting.
You're right. He wasn't involved with McMahon. He was involved with that Gable Stevenson, the Olympian, and that was at WrestleMania in Dallas, where it was the Alpha Academy against RK Bro and the Street Profits in a triple threat for the tag titles. And
maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Maybe.
But I remember the guy that, like you said, he was a bit like Angle, like a mini Angle.
Yeah.
And he seems to be all right. But I when you brought up the comparison to Rocky 4, I thought, well, that's no, I like that. So no, I'd like to see Sami Zayn versus Gunther.
Yeah.
I think that would be a pretty decent matchup. You need to have 2 big guys against each other, or, well, not, I wouldn't say Gable's a big guy, but I'd say just in general, when you have a guy that is the underdog, that especially as a babyface, you want to see that. And anyway, I like Gunther as well. I think he's he plays a pretty good heel type, so kind of the super arrogant, dominating sort of dude, And like you said, he brought prestige back to the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
When we had years of guys like Santino that were making a mockery of it.
Awful.
Yeah. That wasn't just a problem with the Intercontinental title.
No,
I have to say. It was the titles across the board.
Yeah, it was a dark time.
It was the time of the spinner belt that for some reason just kind of went on and on and on. And it's like, okay, we got it. It spins.
It spins, we understand.
Yeah.
It was a dark time in WWE.
Yeah. Hopefully we're out of that. I think it seems like we're in the clear now.
I think we're in the clear. I was gonna say, to make what I thought was hilarious is when the Rocky 4 comparison. Someone posted a meme on Twitter where it was, they like edited in the faces of Chad Gable onto Rocky, and they put Sammy on like Creed's body or something, and it was like him holding him, and it showed Gunther as Drago, and he's like, if he dies, he dies. I was like, I fucking love people. This is amazing. So good. But so what do you got? Who do you got here? Who are you taking on this one? Did you think Gunther's?
It's gotta be Gunty.
Gunty? Yeah, that's what my pick is too, Gunty. I'm like, I don't think Sammy's gonna do it. I don't think he can dethrone the king of the Intercontinental Belt. I mean, if Gunther, and to be honest too, if Gunther retains, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Like, I mean, because he would then have retained, last year against Drew and Sheamus, which is crazy. So 2 Mania's successful defenses, which is impressive. So yeah, definitely Gunty. Gunter. His Imperium theme song is Gunter. Gunter. It's like this German fucking crazy shit.
It's something.
All right, so moving on from Gunther and Sammy, let's go to the next matchup we got is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Oh, that was very good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm working on my yeahs. I practice them at home, yeah. just sitting in the mirror practicing my stupid yeah.
That's a little too good.
Just sitting there in the mirror. Yeah. I wake up in the morning. Yeah. I go to work. My boss is like, "How you doing today?" I go, "Yeah." Like if I'm in the bathroom, I'm in the stall, and like someone comes in, "Is anyone in there?" I go, "Yeah."
Very good.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know the build too well on this one, other than I don't know why these two hate each other, except for AJ Styles. He traveled all the way to Australia to fuck over LA Knight in the chamber, which I thought was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, this motherfucker flew 16 hours to go beat the shit out of LA Knight with a chair.
Sure.
For whatever reason. So.
Well, they both have initialed first names, so there you go.
That's true. I think this build started at the Rumble, I guess, because that Fatal 4 with Roman. And it kind of subtly built it off of that. I don't know. I love AJ, and he's absolutely fucking jacked right now. Oh my god, is he roided Magoo winner for OSW. Shout out to the OSW boys. Roidy Magoo winner or nomination here. But LA Knight, like, he's funny. I enjoy him to an extent, but I'm not like sold on him 100%. But yeah, I just think this is a weird match. Like, I don't know how this could go. I don't know if it's gonna be good or if it's gonna be just like one of those like, I hate to say it, but I almost feel like this is like a piss break. And I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I feel like this is gonna be a piss break match for me. Where I'm gonna be like, I don't know. It's sad because they're two good talent, but it's just weird. It doesn't feel like a big match to me,
Is this the one where the energy drink ad becomes glaringly obvious during the match? Like, oh, look at that.
Oh, the Prime bottle. Yeah, the Prime bottle. Yeah, this is gonna be glaringly obvious here. Well, I know because I know I love AJ and my boy Roger. If he's watching, my boy Roger. He when we went to WrestleMania, he bought the AJ Styles gloves. So I was like, you gotta bring those, man. You gotta make sure you bring those to Mania. You gotta rep that shit for the phenomenal one. The face that runs the place here, Mr. TNA himself. So yeah, I mean, I'm pulling for AJ. I love him. I think he needs to win it. He needs a win at Mania, dude. He hasn't. I'm trying to think. Well, he did win at Mania. He won at Mania 34 against Nakamura, and then he got dick punched by Nakamura at that same Mania. But he's won a couple Manias. He beat Randy. He beat Randy at WrestleMania 33. Oh no, sorry, 35, I believe. And then he beat Shane McMahon at 33. So he's had some interesting matches at Mania. He's had a pretty good run. But yeah, I don't know. My gut's gonna say LA Knight takes this. So because LA Knight's this is his first Mania ever. So I don't know. What are you thinking? What are you feeling on this? How are you feeling on this?
Yeah, That's one of
yeah.
That's how I feel.
Oh my god.
I feel kind of meh about it.
Yeah, you and I meh. You feel the same as me. You and I have the same sentiments. We both feel the same. Like We're
Yeah.
sharing. Yeah, we're like when it comes on at my house here, I'm like, anyone want a drink? We're all gonna go, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone gotta take a piss? Yeah. That's gonna be me at my house.
The most enthusiastic, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone's gonna. Anyone gotta take a piss? Yeah. That's gonna be like super aggressive, you know. Oh my god. And if for people watching who are tuning in and don't know this, just go look up LA Knight. Yeah, and just look it up on YouTube and you'll see what we're talking about. You can't miss it. So
It's his catchphrase. It's
yeah,
like a woo,
pretty much. What? It's kind of like a what chant too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's like a what chant.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So who we thinking? Who you pulling for? Who you got in this one?
AJ.
AJ. Okay, let's go. The face that runs the freaking place. AJ Styles. Okay, I put LA, but I'm gonna I just think he's gonna take it. But yeah, you got AJ. Sounds good. That sounds good. We'll continue on this trek. Let's move to another good one here. We're gonna move to Jimmy and Jay Uso, the brother warfare, bloodline brother warfare here. I'm gonna be honest. It's funny. I was actually listening to before this. I was listening to Cornette's podcast a bit about this, and I kind of shared the same sentiments that they shared on this. Like while I like Jay and I like Jimmy, I like them as a team, and I know Jay's had a pretty good, successful, good kind of kickoff as a solo with his yeet gimmick and all this stuff, and he's been doing okay, and he's over. I mean, he's over as fuck, but yeah. I don't know. This match, the build to this has just been lackluster. Like it's not gauging my interest. Like I'm not super thrilled about this match, like that I would hope to be, like a brother versus brother. It's just, to me, one of the things I feel like is lacking is where the fuck is Rikishi? Where the fuck is Rikishi? Yeah. Like, why? He's been posting about this on Twitter. Like, I follow him, and he's like talking about it. Like, why the fuck have they not brought him in a show to talk about, like, have him come out? Like, I'm sure he doesn't cost $1 billion to make an appearance, and he's, I'm sure they could work a deal out with him to come on, at least be a part of this storyline. It would be amazing if Rikishi showed up and tried to help the, kind of like stop the fighting. We're family. This is blood. Like Samoa, whatever. Fucking, It's Rikishi. He's a name. Everyone knows him, like from the, the wrestling fans. And it's like, so I don't know.
It's quite odd, isn't it?
Yeah. Right? It's odd. It's just.
Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't showed up in years.
Yeah, and I saw him like when we were at WrestleMania in Hollywood. When we went to WrestleCon, we saw Keish, and he looks good. Like he looks in good health, good shape. Like, good everything. So I'm like, it's just weird. It's baffling to me that they haven't brought him in for this type of angle. I feel like it'd be a perfect opportunity and time, because I feel like, to me, this match feels kind of rushed. Or it's like, I feel like they threw this match on just for the sake of, because of the bloodline stuff that's happening. That it's like, we need to also throw these two together and get them on the Mania card because they don't have anything else to do or to be a part of. So it's like,
it makes sense, but
it does.
Forced.
It feels forced, where it's not, you give this could have had proper build. Like, this didn't necessarily need to be a Mania match. Like, it could have been it could have been on SummerSlam. Could have given them the summer to build to it. Have a really good
like
proper
Taker
build
versus Taker. Can't tell them apart.
Exactly. So stuff like anything, just I don't know. I'm not overly joyed about the match. I mean, I hope it's good, but maybe they're saving the surprise of Kishi being there. Maybe he'll be at Mania 40 as a shock, and it'll be like, holy shit, he's here. Like, maybe he's backstage with one of them before the match or something. Anything. But to have him not in it at all, to me, is like such a lost opportunity. Like, It's like, you have this right on your fucking plate. It's like on your doorstep. He's literally tweeting about it. Like, come on. So
we'll see. Yeah, that'd be great to see old Keish back in his thong.
Imagine if he came out and stink-faced one of his sons. Oh no! Oh no!
He's like, boys, remember who your papa is.
Remember your papa. Oh, that'd be so sad. I'm like, oh, so sorry, you boys. Please go wash your faces. I don't know. I think if I had to go with a pick here, I'd go with Jimmy. Only because even though Jay is so over, I feel like Jimmy needs something to push him forward. Like Jay's
Bloodline rules.
Yeah, Jay's over. Jay, he's a babyface. He's over. He's got so much popularity. Jimmy's kind of like Cornette made the point where it's like you have this team of brothers, and obviously when they break up, one's gonna do well, one's gonna struggle, and Jimmy's been the struggle. Jimmy's kind of been floundering with the bloodline. He's been taking L after L after L to Cody and Seth, and getting beat up, looking him like a goof. And it's like he needs something to pick his credibility back up in the bloodline if he's going to keep going with that. So I just feel like he needs this W. I think he'll take it. It might be a shenanigans type win, but my pick will be Jimmy on this one. What are you thinking?
Well, I can't. It's hard for me to tell them apart, Dylan. Well, I'm gonna go with the heel as well.
Okay.
I think like you said, it gives more credibility to the heel, but also the face can work towards something beyond that. He was did wrong, right?
Right.
Like you said, there can be shenanigans, of course. Jimmy's the sneaky guy, right? He'll sneak around like, oh, I'm behind you. Oh, gotcha. And then, so
yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about it.
No, that's fine, man. That's good. I got you down. So cool. Well, we'll move on from that one. Let's move on to one of our women's title matches here. Let's look at we'll do one Becky versus Rhea Ripley. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Mommy. We got Mommy here.
Why'd you say so?
Mommy. Oh man. So Rhea Ripley, man. I mean, she is on fire. I love her. I think she's gorgeous. I think she's an amazing wrestler. I think she's great on the mic. I think she's like one of the best out there. Don't get me wrong.
Hot take though. She looks much better without the makeup.
She does. No, she looks pretty without the makeup. I think she looks pretty with it, but like you're right. Like I think she looks beautiful without it. Like all the goth makeup on. Like she looks great. I love Becky. Becky, the man. Like she's a great talent. She's good on the mic. I don't know. Like this match it's interesting. Like I mean, the build's been okay. I know we talked about earlier today. I sent you that clip of Dom getting punched in the face. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's interesting to see how this match could play out. If there will be shenanigans with Dom at ringside with Rhea. Rhea's been a dominant champion. She's beat everyone in her way. Held it since last year when she beat Charlotte in a fucking amazing match. So Rhea Ripley, she's kind of like the de facto leader of the Judgment Day. I mean, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And the mommy gimmick and
the matriarch.
She is like the matriarch and the mommy stuff, her merch. Like she had the privilege of main eventing fucking the Chamber in Australia in her home country. Like that was awesome. Yeah. And even honestly, that match was not a bad match with Nia Jax. Like it was actually half decent. Like it was for what it was solid. Working with Nia. So, I think this match is going to be, I think it'll be a good match. Like, I think it's going to be a pretty solid fight between the two. I think they'll definitely take it to the limit where they'll be beating each other pretty senseless. I feel like it'll end in like maybe Rhea will get some crazy, her Riptide finisher, like maybe off the top rope or something crazy to finally put away Becky. But I think my guess is that Rhea will retain at WrestleMania and kind of cement herself as one of the best ever, beating Becky, Charlotte back-to-back at Mania. The only horsewoman she has left to beat would be like Bayley, and then I guess Sasha Banks, but she's over the other company. But yeah, she would pretty much cement herself as one of the most dominant female wrestlers out there. So that's pretty much what I got about that. What do you think?
I think either way, they're both fine. Rhea is definitely a show stealer, and Becky isn't. You can't discount her either. I think she's definitely a decent women's wrestler. But I do still find it hard to like this mentality of putting the women's matches at the top of the card and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
What they did at the Royal Rumble
Mm-hmm.
before, they have the women's Rumble now. The women's matches still leave a lot to be desired, I feel. Now, that's not I'm not saying that they're necessarily bad, but um they have to add a bit more pizzazz.
Yeah.
And I think like some of these gals we watched when we watched the Survivor series, I quite enjoyed that War Games match that
Yeah.
they had. So I think the gimmicky stuff works pretty well.
Yeah.
But in ring, Rhea's pretty good, I'd say. She's pretty impressive. So if I had to give the 1, 2, 3, I'd give it to Ripley.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Yeah, her in-ring is very impressive. Like she like I said last year, honestly, like her and Charlotte stole the show. That match had me on my feet. Like it was such a great matchup, and the stuff they did was incredible. Like it was awesome. I mean, it was like, I mean, people were on their feet at the end, clapping like crazy. It was great to see her win, and so yeah, she's great talent. I think we both agree. Yeah, I think she'll edge out Becky on this one and retain at WrestleMania. So, but yeah, funny thing is, just a funny little note. She was on Logan Paul's podcast, and she was talking, and it was pretty funny. She was asked like a question by him, and it was funny. She said like he asked her like that her and Buddy Matthews, her partner or fiance, he's in AEW, and she was talking, and she's like, yeah, we wrestle and this and that, and she's like, yeah, I usually beat him up and do all kinds of things and do this and that, and then Logan's like, that can mean a whole lot of things, and she's like, yeah, I know. And it was like kind of I was like, damn. I was like, oh. And I was like, wow. And like I mean, the interview was great. Like she had some funny stuff to say. She is really funny and great at talking to. And my dad met her, so he said she was really, really sweet backstage. So she has a really, really kind heart. So but yeah, so Rhea Ripley, man, she's really pretty cool. Love Becky, but yeah, Rhea's cool. Rhea's really cool. So let's we got a couple more matches here. We got a couple more. We're narrowing down the card. Let's go to the other women's title defense. We got the head of Damage Control, Io Sky, the women's champion of SmackDown, versus Bayley, the women's Royal Rumble 2024 winner. The Damage Control storyline, I haven't like followed it super religiously. I know a lot of people are speaking very highly of it all. It's involving Io, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai, the Kabuki Warriors, who are the tag team champions. And I know they all kicked Bayley out after she won the Rumble and challenged Io, and there was a fallout, and they beat the shit out of her. And then Dakota Kai betrayed Bayley, and it was a mess. And Bayley's all on her own, and like no one's there to help her really. So she's kind of like this huge underdog going into this, where all the cards are against her with Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors. Could help Io retain. I know I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I've been just looking on social media, and I see a lot of people talking, and it frustrates me. It kind of angers me to a degree when people are like, and I'm not trying to like. It's people are like, oh, Bayley should be main eventing WrestleMania. Like this should main event night 1 or night 2.
What?
Exactly. I said, okay, well look at the matches that are main eventing. You have the fucking Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth, and then you have the biggest rematch main event in a long time of Cody and Roman. I'm like, there's no chance those matches would get moved for a women's title match. I'm sorry, like it's not being sexist, it's just being realistic. It's like Bayley, like the story, yeah, it may be great, it may be good, but it's not gonna trump going over. No one. I mean, there's a small group of people who want that, but it's not gonna happen.
Sorry, Dylan, you're canceled.
Fuck. Well, yeah. It's just silly, and I when I see those people, I block them because they say stupid shit, and they're like, Bayley needs to be the main event, and I'm like, I'm just blogging them. I don't want to. Why are you on my Twitter feed first? Why am I seeing this? And I read the comments, and it's this shit, idiot opinions, idiot takes. Don't get me wrong, Bayley's a phenomenal wrestler. Io, she's great. Problem with Io is she hasn't had a fucking title defense in fucking months. It's like, how could you possibly justify her defending in the main event at Mania, the biggest Mania coming up, 40th anniversary, and she hasn't defended her title in fucking 5 months? I don't remember her title defense, and I'm not counting SmackDown. It has to be a fucking pay-per-view, PLE, whatever. It's not SmackDown. She defended it against Naomi. That's bullshit. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
It has to be on a fucking PLE. When is she? She hasn't defended on a PLE in half a year. So that's, how can anyone say, argue the fact that they should be a main event? No, they could be an opener. I would love to see this open. This could open night 2. That'd be fucking great, you know. But no fucking way in hell is this a main event match. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my opinion. And that's what I was so pissed reading some of the shit people are posting on Twitter. I'm like, fuck you, people are dumb. You have shit opinions. Think about this. Like, God. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, they're good wrestlers. They're both great. They're phenomenal in ring. But the story / like the way this card is set up right now, it's not happening. It's not gonna fucking happen. The other storylines we'll get to were built far better, and given more time, I get that could be frustrating, I'm sure. But they've given the Damage Control story a pretty good amount of time. So, on SmackDown.
Well, Dylan, let's consider if they were headlining. We're done with this talk.
Yeah.
Nothing more to discuss. And yeah, sounds like a great WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You can't. Going out on this match, if this ended night 2, people would be upset. I'm sorry. People would be like, people would be leaving. Like, people want to see. People want to see the main event of night 1 with The Rock. Fucking The Rock hasn't wrestled in 12 years. We're gonna get to that. And then people want to see Cody and Roman fight to finish the story, if it will finish or not, which we'll get to that in a minute. So, no one. It's just, don't get me wrong. I know Bayley. She's like, this is her first main event. This is her first big match on Mania ever. So I get it's special to her. Like, and Io Sky's the same thing. Like, that's awesome. They deserve a good spot. And like, I think their good spot would be to open the fucking show. Like, that would be a great way to get the crowd would be hyped. Crowd would be fever pitch. People would be energetic. You open the night up with this match. And then Bayley's been reaching out to the group Paramore, the band. She wants them to play her out. And I'm like, if that happens, that'd be fucking hype. Like, Paramore playing Bayley out. You got Io. Like, it'd be awesome. Open up the show. That'd be a great way to start it off. I'm not gonna be like, piss break. Yeah. Like, I'd be like, let's watch it. You know, like, let's do this. See how this goes. But I truly think that Bayley's gonna win this. I think Bayley's gonna easily take this match, and not easily, but she will dethrone and put down Io and walk away champion finally at WrestleMania. So, my prediction. What's your thoughts?
I like Damage Control more.
Yeah.
Than Bayley. I mean, they can go both ways. They're great heels and they're both great faces.
Yeah.
Bayley, to me, she's okay.
Yeah.
I
Hey.
don't have very strong feelings towards. I don't dislike her at all. But anyway, I'll give it to Damage Control.
Okay. Yeah. So you're going with Io? You got it. Yeah. Io Sky. So Miss Io Sky. All right. Cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, that was my rant about that. I had to just fill you in with all the Twitter garbage.
Well, thank you for filling me in, because that's a new one. I try to avoid Twitter like the plague, as you can imagine.
As you should. And you're a much smarter man than I am, because I get sucked into all that. I try so hard not to say anything because I don't want morons from the wrestling, the IWC International Wrestling Community to come at me and be like, this guy's not a fan. Oh my God, so many of those morons in that community, reading their shit drives me insane. They're like acting like fans. They're criticizing you for not liking this wrestler who's so good, who should be a main eventer. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. You're fucking stupid, dumb. Jesus. Yeah. So whatever. Oh God, maddening. Anyways. All right, so off with Bayley and Io.
If any of you guys want to come on the chat, come.
Yeah, please jump in. I love it.
Now, forever hold your peace.
That's right. I'd love to hear from it. All right, so we're down to final. I think this is the final 2 matches. So let's do the big. So night 1's main event. It's already confirmed. Night 1, the Bloodline tag match of Seth freaking Rollins versus with teaming up with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus the Tribal Chief, the undisputed champion Roman Reigns, and The Rock, the final boss, as he is known, The Rock. So this matchup, holy shit! This matchup, the build for this has been bananas. Everything's been bananas leading to this.
Yeah.
It's been entertaining as shit. It's been some of the best TV to watch, both SmackDown and Raw, and in a while. And it's crazy to see The Rock being back in wrestling and being on more tapings than Roman Reigns has been.
Yeah.
He's been at every SmackDown and Raw, and he's just appearing every week, which is crazy. Weekly appearances, like on 2 shows. Like, oh my god, The Rock is like, he's committed, and I'm like, and like this build started back in January, like early January, with him interrupting Cody and Roman after the Rumble, or late January when he interrupted, and Cody had won the Rumble respectfully, and he's like, I'm fighting Reigns. He pointed to him, and I'm challenging you. I'm coming for you, and everyone was hyped, and we're like, okay, we get the rematch, and then a week on SmackDown, The Rock just appears and says, fuck you, this is fuck your story. Kind of. I mean, he didn't say that to him, but he whispered something to Cody. And then Cody just left the ring and just gave the champion title to The Rock. He's like, all right, you can fight Reigns. And it was the weirdest shit. It was like, what happened? And then, yeah, and then overnight, it was like over fucking night, people lost their minds. The IWC and the whole world. We want Cody! And the hashtag We Want Cody trended over the weekend. The entire weekend, it trended. Which is insane. The whole weekend it was we want Cody, and then WWE was forced the hand to change the match, which I thought was crazy. And they had The Rock turn heel at the press conference in Vegas, which was unbelievable. And Cody come out and said, "This is bullshit." And that's where it all began. The Rock slapping Cody, and Seth getting involved randomly. Like, to me, Seth is the biggest random part of this. Like, Seth.
Yeah.
I get he was once a Shield member, and Roman was his brother at one point, blah blah blah. But it's like, to me, while I'm excited for it, I'm not. I just don't think Seth belongs here. Like, it's like he's just so. I mean, okay. In the last couple weeks, the build with him being in it has been good. He's been good on the mic, and he's been good helping his part in this and putting his role into this whole thing and talking shit to The Rock and to Roman but it's like he's so distracted with this because obviously we have another match to talk about, which I didn't bring up, which we'll get to it after this. Is he's defending his world title against Drew, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. And then you got the CM Punk situation. So there's all kinds of stuff going on that he's distracted, but he's focusing so much on this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, to me, let me hear your opinions before I continue. I want to hear what your initial thoughts are on this whole Bloodline tag team matchup.
Oh man, there's a lot to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about this match.
Because way back, it started, with The Rock coming in and whispering into Cody's ear and all of that.
Yeah.
Of course, it also started when Jinder Mahal came out.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's right.
And The Rock said he wanted to be at the head of the table. And we kind of chatted about it.
Yep.
We were saying, oh, well, where is it going to lead to WrestleMania? And you were saying, well, it'd be best to have Cody versus Roman to finish the story.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
I didn't know much about that. So I said, I want to see Rock and Roman. Why not? I want to see The Rock.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And that was me, a little kid. I want to see The Rock. Rock.
Yeah.
This is what I know. So, well, we get the best of both worlds, perhaps. But the build-up, at first I'm like, it's on a bit of rocky ground. So at first it seems like they had plans. Okay, we're gonna do Rock and Roman, and then the backlash. So the question is, how big of a factor was the backlash in this? They had to really change course, and if so, okay, I think they did it pretty well actually. At first it was like, okay, they kind of like that whole deal with, Cody sort of bowing to the whim of The Rock changed to Cody coming out at that press conference and going, no, it's my pick and I want to fight Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then you have the slap, and that was iconic, I have to
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
And so now we've had a slap back, and then this past week on Raw, or a couple days ago, I should say, we had another iconic moment with Rock slapping Cody again, actually turning his face into a bloody pulp. And so this is big though, because we haven't seen blading in years. It's been banned. Here's the thing: if you don't follow wrestling, okay, real wrestling,
Real,
you'd know something about Cody's family's history at blading. Okay, his brother Dustin Goldust was fired from WCW for blading on the back of a pickup truck in some sort of weird haystack match. You know about this?
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of the match. Yes, but I do know the match. Yeah, they were like him and an opponent were fighting on a truck with a bunch of hay barrels and stuff like, and it was really weird match. I was like in WCW or something. It was weird.
It was WCW. So he got fired because he cut himself open. So for the history of wrestling and blading, kind of goes back and forth. At certain periods, blading was just so commonplace. You think of like Flair, right? He was the biggest blader, or many guys.
Yeah.
And but anyway, in the WWF New Generation era, it was banned. But then Austin and Bret Hart brought it back. They got the okay to blade during WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
And from that match until I believe it was 2008, the last guy to blade in a pay-per-view match was Batista.
Yeah, he got a fat fine for that one.
So Batista, they were told, these guys, no more blading, and they're like, what? Come on, we need to add color to the match to bring out a visceral response from the crowd. It changes everything about the dynamic of the match once you have blood. You don't want to overdo it. It shouldn't be something that's every single match like Flair or something.
Yep.
But at the same time, when you have a big epic match, it's good to have the color. So anyway, from that point going on, from 2008 until this past Monday, blading had been banned. You'd get a huge fine if you attempted it. So no one did it. The only guys that bled on camera were busted open. So that was like a kind of like a gray area. But whenever they'd get busted open, they'd have a ref or a medic guy come in and catch them up, stitch them, so they would stop the bleeding right there, and it kind of would take the wind out of the sails of the match.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a huge shift in the whole dynamic of wrestling, or WWE, I should say, because it's they're the biggest company in wrestling. So anyway, big stuff. Of course, we can get into The Rock's sort of personality, his character, how it's in just a few months, how he's gone from being a babyface to being the biggest heel of his whole career, and one of the biggest heels in all of wrestling history, because Cody is the biggest babyface in years. Ultimate babyface. He's Mr. America. American Nightmare, but still, he's
bigger than Cena, man. Like right now, like I mean, he's the biggest babyface since Cena, and I think I know you don't have Twitter, but on Twitter, man, it's like the stuff that he does for people, like it's crazy. At every like house show, he does something special for someone. Like he's giving away his shoes. He's given a Christmas tree to someone. He fucking someone had a sign said, "Cody, will you be my best man?" He said, "Yes, I'll be your best man at your wedding." And he's like, "I'm gonna be at this kid's wedding." Someone's like, "Cody, can you do this?" He's like, "Yes, I'll be there." I'm like, "What the fuck? How are you able to do this?"
It's like that Jim Carrey movie.
Which one?
The Yes Man.
Oh yeah, he literally. Cody is the Yes Man. I like how you put it too, that Rock is the Uber heel. Like he is the ultimate Uber heel, and Cody's the ultimate babyface. But here's what I'm gonna say. I just wanted to put this out there. I was thinking about it, and Rock has been so fucking good, and talking shit with the Rock concert, with this backstage segment, like brutalizing Cody, which was crazy. And there's two things I want to touch on. One, do you think, and I'm worried about this, do you think because The Rock has been so fucking good that it's going to hurt this match a bit as far as the reaction could shift to where people cheer The Rock in Philadelphia, since Philly is a crazy, really crazy crowd where people are going to boo Cody, which I'm worried that it's possible. I wouldn't say it's going to happen or it could happen. It's just the fans are so fucking weird in Philly. They're ravenous. And The Rock has been so great as a heel. And having him with Roman together, two ultimate heels, I'm just worried because the fans of Philly might do that switcheroo shit where they're cheering the heels and booing the baby faces. But based on how everything's been built, like The Rock's been so good and overshadowing Cody in some of these promos. Cody's done good. He's done a good job at talking back to The Rock, and he's had some good quips on Raw and this and that. But I don't know, man. It's some parts just gets me a little worried. There's a little inkling under my skin where I'm like, I wonder if the crowd might flip here in Philly. So what do you think on that?
Reaction already.
It is.
Not the crowd's not booing the. He doesn't have heel heat.
Yes. Yeah.
He has. He I would say so far on TV he's had mostly positive reaction.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of the appearances where it was a bit more mixed, I would say, but for the most part he's so charismatic.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of an interesting aspect to his character, is that he'll bring that up. Like he went out to Arizona and he was insulting, the women there. He called them like crackhead Karens or something.
Yeah.
And then he refers, he always refers to himself in third person, which is
the best.
Genius of The Rock. So then he has another promo and he talks about his previous promo and he's like, and The Rock came out to Arizona and The Rock called all the ladies crackhead Karens and The Rock was saying, oh, and you love it. And then the ladies said, oh, we love it. And The Rock knows that you love it. That was his whole... Did
you see he too, I don't know if I told you this, they had to cut the broadcast when he was in Memphis Tennessee because some girl flashed him and he saw it and then he said, just what The Rock loves, drunk and horny. I was like, I can't believe he said that. And it was amazing. I was like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so refreshing because again, just to bring this back because you brought this up a little earlier in the podcast, is WWE is kind of like, people are calling this era the Renaissance era. It's not the Attitude Era, but it's the Renaissance Era, is what they're calling it. And it's like refreshing that we're going into this new take where it's the blood, we're getting the cursing, we're getting more edgier content, where it's very entertaining, and they're pushing boundaries.
It's not that alone, though. We should make that clear.
Yeah,
because you have that stuff in like AEW.
Right? Yeah. AEW's been doing edgy content. Like I'm not going to give them shit for that. They've been doing crazy blood.
The quality of the story.
Exactly. Yeah, the quality. Okay. The difference between the two is the quality of the stories in WWE versus AEW. Like they're both doing AEW definitely has been doing the edgier content longer now. WWE did it way back when, and they've had this long PG era nonsense. And AEW, they've been doing like crazy edgy shit. But the story qualities in there versus WWE there's no comparison. I mean, AEW just don't have good writers. They don't have good story arcs. People are being put into senseless feuds, senseless matches that don't make sense and don't add up. And people don't see that. And yes, they have great talent. AEW has phenomenal wrestlers. They have fantastic in-ring fucking talent. It doesn't matter if they have good talent. If you can't get a good story arc that builds to a year to a good card, it's like even Sting. Like Sting had his build. It wasn't like year build for his. I can't remember. It might have been a year, but it definitely wasn't a year. It was a year he announced like, I'm trying to retire, I think, at Revolution. But it wasn't a year build for him fighting the Bucks. Like that was like maybe a month and a half build for him and Darby Allin to fight the Bucks in his final match. And it was that crazy, hardcore glass match. Oh my God, it was insane. Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, but it wasn't a great story build. It was great to see Sting, and I loved him. I grew up watching him, so it's good to see him one last time. But they just don't have those great builds, and it's just like those fans don't see that. I don't understand how you don't see that. It's objective. WWE stories are currently so much more superior. Like it's just baffling.
It is what it is, it's the problem with all these online spaces where they're echo chambers.
Yeah.
And so it's about having a dominating narrative. And so if the narrative is that, oh, this product is the best because X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
you can't disagree or they'll kick you out of the group.
Right.
Right. It's like what's obvious is obvious,
Yeah.
but nowadays everyone needs to get the approval of the tribe first before you can state the obvious. And that's an issue that goes way beyond wrestling.
Yeah.
All sorts of, anyway. So
No, yeah. Yeah.
it seems obvious that The Rock, he's the ultimate pro wrestler, because look, it's not about ability, okay? So people that point to AEW and these things, New Japan, great wrestling, fantastic. This is like the Meltzer type people, right? Where they judge every little twitch.
Yep.
His foot was off the 89-degree mark. It didn't connect 100%. Where are these people judging acrobatics at the Olympics? My goodness.
Yeah.
But that's not what makes a match good.
Yeah.
It's not that perfection. It's about the story. It's about the build. It's about the charisma of the guys in ring, and also all the build up. And The Rock, it just understands it because he'd been put through the ringer. He'd been the guy that had to first be kind of pushed down everyone's throats, and he was rejected, and he said, okay, what can I do now where I'm rejected by the crowd? So what can I do to play up on this rejection? And his charisma, catapulted him to the #1 star, because no one could touch him on the mic. Exactly. And so and now his physique and everything, his look is unquestionably just this dominating, like I said, uber heel. I mentioned that on Facebook Messenger to you. But that was my initial reaction after watching that beatdown he laid on Cody. He looks to me with the sunglasses. He looks like, you ever watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite animes.
It's my favorite, next to Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But he's like Taguro. He looks like Taguro.
He does look like Taguro. Yeah. Never thought of that. That's actually a great comparison. I should have had a freaking image of that already. Side by side. No, man, you're totally right. Like it's my thing is this though. I got a couple thoughts and questions before we kind of make our prediction here. Well, one thing I thought was funny, I'll just kind of put this out there since you don't see this on Twitter. There's a couple of things that are a couple outliers here that could play a part in this match. So Cody's brother Dustin, he's been posting every time The Rock talks shit on the family. He would post a video or something, and he posted on Twitter the other day. He just said, "You son of a bitch." That was his Twitter. And to The Rock. And then Brandy, Cody's wife, was like, "He better keep his security detail tight at Mania. That's all." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." And so it's
Mama
fun.
Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes, yeah, the Mama Rhodes belt. You know for a fucking fact that his mom is gonna be, both Rock and Cody's mom will be at ringside, and either they might get in a confrontation, which would be great. Oh my god, the crowd would lose their shit. But that The Rock is gonna get a slap from Mama Rhodes. That's gonna fucking happen. Somewhere, somehow, it's gonna happen, and the crowd will go banana. It'll be like almost kind of like reminiscent of the Linda McMahon standing up at WrestleMania X7 pop, where that, because he's been talking so much shit on Cody.
Linda got out of her chair.
Exactly, yeah. Spread your legs apart. I love that from OSW. So my thing is this though. As I think about this matchup, I ask myself, who the fuck is taking the pin here? Because
for the tag team match,
in the tag match, who the fuck takes the pin? Because it can't be. Well, can't be. Yeah, my thought was Rollins needs to take the fall here. I was like, the only thing I could see is if The Rock takes the pin here, and this is big. This is this is a hot take. If The Rock were to take the pin, then it fucks over Roman's chances the next night, and Roman and The Rock will get into it at the end of night 1, where he pushes him out of the bloodline or something happens, where then that sets the seeds for those two to fight it next year. Work as a year build. So I don't know. That's what I agree with you. Like, my initial thought constantly circulated around Rollins taking the fall here, because he's the most obvious in everyone's opinion to take the pin. But then what if Cody, hits Rock with the crossroads, or Rollins hits the stomp on the Rock or something, and he takes the fall? I mean, it would be holy shit moment. Like, The Rock taking the pin would be crazy. And then it just sets that seeds for next year's Mania, where Reigns is like, fuck, you fucked our chances. Because obviously the stipulation for this match is that if Reigns and Rock win, then Bloodline rules at night 2.
Yeah.
And then if it's the other way around, where if they lose, then no interference, and it's a free match between Cody and Roman. Just no one interferes. So,
but imagine if Cody gets the pin with the Bloodline rules. He has to go through the gauntlet. He has to go through hell.
Yeah.
He has to go through all the Samoans. He has to go through Rikishi.
Yeah.
He has to go through Umaga's ghost. And then
oh my God.
You imagine, after all of that, he gets the pin. That would be a great finish to
night 2. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Now, another question I want to raise, because I know we'll talk about the main event briefly. I'll bring that picture up, the graphic. But a graphic I'm going to bring up here that was on Monday Night Raw. Let me close out of this. Let me close out of the this one here. Okay, so people brought this up, and people were saying it's a tease or something, and I was like, I didn't notice this until people pointed it out. But if you watch The Rock beating up Cody, there's a moment when the camera guy intentionally is like, he grabs Cody and he's putting him over the side of the concrete there, and he's talking shit, and the camera guy's intentionally filming a wide shot where it's The Rock and then Cody on the left corner, and in the background you see two people. You see John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the background on the truck. Fucking, that has to be intentional. And holy shit, if that's a subtle tease and they come to help Cody, it'll be like the fucking Avengers coming through the portals or some shit. And it makes sense. Would it be an overbooked frenzy? Yes. It would be fucking chaotic. But in the long run, if they helped Cody, yeah. If Bloodline Rules happens on night 2 and Cody's overwhelmed and it's Solo and Jimmy and Paul Heyman and everyone interfering, The Rock, imagine if The Rock tries to interfere in the Bloodline Rules match and suddenly the glass breaks or Cena's music hits. Both of them come out. Both their music's hit. People would fucking go mental. Say Cena's music hits first.
Austin start laying down punches.
Yeah, I mean, Cena's music hits first, and then people go crazy. The glass breaks. People would fucking lose their shit. And to see Stone Cold and Rock facing off at Mania 40, just one more time, even if they're not going to ever have a match again, but just seeing that interaction, holy shit, it would be fucking crazy. I would go.
I think you're describing the greatest WrestleMania match of all time right now, though.
It really well could be. The main event. Well, let me move. I'm going to shift out.
One of the best of all time.
Let's pause real quick. And I want to just touch on, because we didn't talk about it too much, but let's go back real quick, because night 2, from what I understand, night 2 co-main event is Drew versus Seth Rollins for the world title. I did want to touch on this because Drew has been phenomenal. His heel work has been fantastic lately. I know you don't keep up with him on Twitter, but his Twitter game has been funny as fuck with the whole CM Punk thing. And it's been a weird match. It's been a weird build because Seth's been focusing on the bloodline. Drew has been focusing on Punk. Drew hasn't been paying attention much to Seth. He's been talking all this shit on Punk. I ruined your career. I injured you. Your Mania chances. The shirts. Oh, it's funny. And he posted a video on Monday night before Raw was in Chicago. He was driving to the Allstate Arena and he went to Mindy's Bakery where CM Punk got the cupcakes on that interview in AEW. And he's like, oh, let's go to Mindy's Bakery. And he walked up and he's like, it was closed. Fucking figures. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll go to a better shop or something. He's like, I'm gonna go to a better restaurant. And I'm like, oh my god, he's such a menace, and I love it. I was cracking up. I'm like, this is content. And I'm like, and the promo on Raw was fucking amazing. Oh my god,
that was wonderful.
And I loved it made me smile. It made my heart smile when I heard you say, I haven't smiled that much watching a promo in a while. And I was smiling. I was like, it was like, they straight up told them, from what I understand, from Fightful Select reported that they gave them a kind of an outline of what to do, but they said just go out there and do your thing. They let them free.
They're ad-libbing,
Yeah, they ad-libbed that whole thing. I was cracking up, man. I thought it was so good on everyone's part. Like, oh, the comments, like, whenever Punk called them dipshits, and Drew was like, PG, brother. I was dying. And then, like, when Rollins was like, do you want to know what I think, Punk? And then Punk was like, no. I was like, this is great. This is like three guys who you can believe they hate each other, and they're just talking so much shit. And it made for and I was listening to someone the other day talk about it. They were like, I'm not really interested in the matchup. I'm like, I am interested. I think yes, it would have been better with Punk and Rollins if Punk was healthy. Drew and Seth, Drew's made this very interesting. Seth, both of them have been good. If Punk is the referee, we don't know yet what the deal is, if he's going to commentate or ref. If he's the ref, oh my God, this would be so funny. This would be such a great...
He does both simultaneously.
Yeah, commentates and ref. I mean, I'm sure he's going to commentate regardless, but I think him being the ref would make this matchup so fucking amazingly intriguing, where it would draw so many eyes to it, because he'd have to count the pins somewhere, and who is he going to count for? And it would be so funny. God, I really hope, as Drew McIntyre said, I prayed for this to happen. I hope that I pray that CM Punk is the referee for this matchup, because it would be so fun. So who do you think's going to win this? What's your thoughts on this whole matchup?
This is the night 2.
This is night 2 co-main event, from what I understand, is what I've been told, or what I've been reading.
If Rollins, okay, let's say it's just Rollins and McIntyre.
Yeah.
CM Punk's not the official. I'm gonna say it's Rollins, but
okay,
if it's Punk as the ref, I'm gonna say McIntyre.
Okay. What's your definitive pick, though? If you had to go with one, like if you're like, this is who I'm gonna stay with right now, like let me get.
I'd like McIntyre to win it.
Okay, so I'll put you definitive, because I put Drew down too. I put Drew as my definitive pick to win this, regardless. Like, he's gonna finally get his moment at WrestleMania, because remember, he won the title against Brock in front of no one at WrestleMania 36. It was the pandemic one, where it was like in front of no one, where it was really cringy and awkward.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's so
That's
sad.
weird.
Yeah, he beat Brock Lesnar in an empty arena with no one, and it was really sad.
Those are some dark days. If this is the Renaissance, I understand why people call it that. If we had the dark ages not too long ago.
That was dark. That was my favorite moment, though, where Stone Cold came out and he did the whole, if you're ready for this, give me a hell yeah, and he pointed to like no one in the audience, and there was no one there, and it was dead silent, and he just like leans over, and I'm like, oh, it's so sad. That's a great clip.
That was Byron Saxton, right?
Yeah. Byron was like, hell yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is some dark times. Okay. Last thing before we wrap up here, I'm just bringing it home to our main event of WrestleMania, the big rematch, Cody Reigns, running it back. And like I said, if it's we touched on it, if it's bloodline rules, anything goes. There's gonna be lots of shenanigans, lots of shit could happen. Yeah. It could be, again, one of the best matches ever. I mean, if the bloodline rules happens, which it's very likely, I agree with you. I think I would like that to happen. I think if you want to finish the story, stack everything against Cody. Make this the best fucking comeback ever, where all these people help him. All these people, they want to see Reigns finally fall. They want to see him lose the belt. To me, like, I can see arguments for people seeing. Like, I was talking to AJ about this before he's coming down here. I'm like, I have a really hard time seeing how this match is going to play out. But I'm like, if Reigns were to retain, holy shit, the heat. Oh my God. I don't know what I would do. Yeah. I don't know how I'd react. I would probably laugh hysterically if Reigns beat Cody, pinned him 1, 2, 3 clean. I would probably piss myself laughing. That would tell me that they really want Reigns to be the guy to beat Hogan's record, which he's close. He's
Mm.
very close. So that's also a very lingering thing that he would have to hold the belt past about a month and a half after this to beat Hogan's official record and be one of the longest reigning ever under Bruno and stuff. But so I don't know. It's so hard for me to envision what could happen here because I'm like, if Cody wins and he finishes the story, it'll be an amazing feel-good moment. It'll be happy. But where do you go with Reigns and where do you go with Cody? Cody, yeah, he'll have some setups with The Rock. He'll have some setup with Randy with a heel turn if Randy wants to do a legacy type deal, which would be great. But, I mean, those are your options, which is fine. Those are great options. There's definitely good direction to take Cody in his run as a babyface with the titles. Does Reigns step away from the ring for a long time? Like, does he return as a babyface? Like, there's just so many what ifs. Because, like, I can see people arguing why Reigns should keep the belts just because he's been this ultimate big final guy to beat. Like, they've done a good job with keeping these belts on him for so long. And he's beaten fucking everyone. He's beaten Lesnar, Goldberg. You know, he's beaten Cody. He's beaten The Fiend. He's beaten Braun Strowman. He's like, there's no one he's not beaten. He's beaten Drew. He's beaten fucking everyone. So it's like, you know, it's such a this is such an intriguing main event where it's so nerve-wracking, like how this is going to pan out. Like, what could happen? What kind of surprises? What kind of turns? You know, I don't know, man. I have no clue, like, other than what we talked about.
Yeah. No, imagine this. Cody wins it, but
Okay.
nothing's for free, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a trade-off. The next night on Raw is a celebration thing. And then you see some backstage stuff. Triple H comes out. He's like, "Oh, congratulations." He's like, "I just want to let you know now, we have something for you." He takes out the Stardust outfit. Let me putting this on. Enjoy.
Whoosh. Oh
And so
no.
now we have the humiliation saga, like the corporation, the executives, even The Rock. They want to do everything in their power to make sure that Cody can not enjoy that title reign.
That'd be
And so
actually,
then you have him
honestly,
going
that's
against the corporation.
honestly, that's not. I mean, it sounds hilarious and stupid, but it makes it pretty kind of funny. I don't think they'll do it, but also I think that's a great take. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie with you, that's actually a good take because The Rock said, "I will do everything in my power to make sure you do not walk away as champion at Mania."
Yeah.
So he's been playing up on the board of directors role, which I love. Like, I love this playing up on that like power role, that power. The final boss thing. By the way, we didn't mention it, but The Rock's fucking entrance is sick.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the whole, like, it starts off with,
Adam.
dude, the whole transition from like the new rock music, lightning, him walking out, standing
Yeah.
there, to transition to the Hollywood rock music. When you sent me that, I lost my shit. I was like, this is fucking awesome. So great new entrance for him. Everything he's done is fantastic. So let me ask you.
He's like a chimera of his former persona.
Yeah.
So it starts off where it's like the typical, you know, if you smell bombastic stuff, and then it has the lightning, and then it kind of transitions, and then to that slow down pace, that kind of chill walkout of the Hollywood theme. So
yeah, it's so good. Well, let me ask. So your definitive pick for the main event of WrestleMania, who do you got? Who do you think's walking home a Universal Champion, undisputed Universal Champion here?
Oh, buddy.
I know, it's a tough pick.
It's you never know these days. I'm gonna say Cody.
Cody? Okay, yeah. Let me transition over real quick. I too, as much as I'm gonna be rooting for Roman, but I did put Cody down. I'm gonna put Cody as the bet that he's gonna walk away finally finishing his story. Me and AJ are gonna go down with the ship. We talked about it. We said we're gonna have our bloodline gear on. We said we're going down with the ship. If Reigns is going out this way, we're gonna ride the ones up, you know, all the way to the end. So, but you know, I'll be very happy. Like I said, it would be a real feel good moment for a lot of people. I think it'd be a really special thing to see if it does happen. I saw people arguing on Twitter. They're like tagging Tony Khan and shit. They're like, please let Goldust get involved in this. Please, for one night, let him have a pass to go over there. I'm like,
yeah.
It would be incredible if Dustin showed up to help his brother. Holy shitballs, that would be amazing. Like, oh, it'd be so awesome to see. but who knows? Probably not. But one can dream, and fantasy match it. So
one can American dream.
Hey, that was great. Good stuff. Well played, sir. Well, that'll do it. I know we were gonna touch. I didn't want to the Hall of Fame. We got. I said we were gonna touch on only a couple people, just briefly. We'll just kind of glaze over. I don't know all the entries by heart. I'm only going off what I know. We got in our celebrity wing. We have Muhammad Ali, for his appearance with Antonio Inoki, and WrestleMania 1 as the referee for the main event with Hogan and Mr. T and Piper Orndorff. We have Bull Nakano, one of the premier women's wrestlers of the time back in the day. She was very special, had a great unique look, just nasty heel gimmick. She looks totally different too, by the way. It's going to be very interesting to hear her. Yeah. She is like 180 flipped from her look back in the day. And then, of course, we'll talk briefly here on the man, the myth, the legend of Paul Heyman, the #1 Hall of Fame inductee in Philadelphia. So, I mean, Paulie dangerously. We've been watching him, both of us, for years, from ECW to in his early days in WWF as commentary. Early Paul Heyman guys, he's been, let's see, Undertaker's been a Paul Heyman guy back in like old school. If you look, there's a picture of Taker post that I saw just before we got on where he's like, I might be the OG. And I'm like, holy shit, it was him and Paul Heyman back in the like early 80s or something, like mid 80s. You've had, to me, the real OG Paul Heyman guy is Heidenreich. That's the OG, baby. do the charge, baby. Do the Heidenreich. Yeah, man, he's had a hell of a career. I mean, backstage producing, ECW and commentary, manager, fucking just managing some of the best. Yeah, he's unbelievable, well-rounded, everything. Like, what do you got to say about Mr. Paulie? You have anything you like to shout out to Paul Heyman and his iconic role?
Well, he's a genius, and he's been involved in some of the most memorable moments. Mm-hmm. Even when wrestling was not at its best, I have to say. I guess this is kind of like the tragedy of Paul Heyman's career.
Yeah,
is that he didn't come. So, of course, he was involved with ECW, but he wasn't involved in the WWF during, I guess, the golden age. He came in with the invasion angle, which many people consider to be subpar.
Right.
But I have to say, when he came in and he was doing commentary and he was at WrestleMania 17, I mean, that's some of the best commentary work I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my introduction to wrestling. So hearing his voice on Monday Night Raw, that's when I first started watching as a kid. So
yeah,
he's always been there. And like you said, we saw him get matched up with all those guys, Brock Lesnar, Heidenreich. He's done it all. He's
Punk,
done it all.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
And I just remember when he got pulled off TV in, what was it, like 2007?
Yeah.
So whenever that happened, I remember I basically tuned out of wrestling at that point, and I never really got back into it afterwards. I'd never watched it regularly.
Yeah.
So he's the man.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Everything. Yeah, he's had incredible as a manager. He's made so many people's careers. He's done a great job with backstage production, producing. I mean, the one thing I love about Paul, man, is especially now, even when he's with Brock and like, the streak ending and like all that stuff, like his facials are so fucking funny. He is so good at reacting, emoting, and just putting the feelings out there. I mean, you just can't stop watching him because he's just the shit. His mic skills, everything. He's just amazing. He's a fantastic, overall, just like you said, he's a genius. Plain and simple. He's done so much for the business and wrestling. So yeah, well deserved to headline the class of 2024. So
he can put over anybody.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. But yeah, man, with that said, that is it for now. I mean, again, we don't know all the matches yet. There's still some more that'll be announced as we go along, so we'll just have to play that by ear, and we'll do our predictions offline for the matches that get announced. I think there's about 4 matches left. I think maybe like 5, but we'll make sure to look at those, and I'll keep you posted. Um, I will be streaming again next Tuesday probably to do a simulation with the new WWE 2K24 game. It's pretty cool, man. You gotta, if you have time to, if you're available at all next Tuesday, to tune in a little bit to see the game. It's actually really amazing. The graphics are incredible. It's awesome. A lot of fun stuff in it. So I'm gonna do simulations where I'll simulate the matches, let the computers play it out. I'll commentate it, and we'll do some simulations. See what 2K24 says, and see how it goes. So it should be a good time.
No,
so
I'll definitely tune in.
it'll be fun. So and then Mania next week. We're excited, and man, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for the long chat. I know it was a long one, but thank you for your time and breaking down the car with me.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Well, we'll say goodbye here, and I will upload this to YouTube probably, ideally tomorrow after I get off work. If not, most likely Friday since I'm off. But it will be up on YouTube definitely before Mania. Not as long as the Rumble one took. So we'll get this up early, and I'll get it clipped up and edited and ready to go. So I'm CTG heading on out.
This is Chill Storm.
Hey.
And thanks for chilling with us.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Take it easy and have a good night. We'll see you for WrestleMania. Bye.